A day of happiness and joy somehow turned to this.
Major incident declared. We have a bus rollover, multiple patients.
Emergency services responded to a scene of utter devastation after a bus carrying 35 wedding guests rolled. The bus was headed from the wedding venue at Lovedale to Singleton when it crashed on the approach to a roundabout on the Hunter Expressway at Greta. 10 people died at the scene.
It was a fairly frantic scene. A number of passengers we were able to extract through the front windscreen of the bus.
The 58-year-old male driver of the bus was arrested and later charged with a series of driving offences. Premier Chris Minns visited the scene where he thanked emergency service workers and later went to Newcastle's John Hunter Hospital where many of the injured were being treated.
The community up here in Singleton and Cessnock has obviously been rocked by this.
Truly a horrific day for our community. It was something that nobody wanted to wake up to this news.
For a joyous day like that in a beautiful place to end with such terrible loss of life and injury is so cruel and so sad and so unfair.
Residents who live close to the crash site brought flowers.
A wedding, like one of the happiest days of your lives, and turns into one of the most tragic days of your lives.
The wedding venue cut a sombre scene.
Terrible day.
The vintage Beetle used for the wedding was driven away. Neither the bride nor the groom were on the bus. They'd moved to the area from Victoria. It's believed a number of those attending were members of the Singleton Roosters AFL club.
They're obviously in a headspin in a whole different way, not only dealing with the loss of potentially members but also relatives.
At the wedding and indeed on the bus are people from a number of areas, both local within the Singleton LGA, but also some from Sydney and perhaps Queensland and Victoria.
It was a complex task for police, as noted by Commissioner Karen Webb. She praised officers and their support staff who've been working around the clock.
Not just at the scene, but also at hospitals, at police stations, and talking with other witnesses.
The bus was chartered by local operator Link Bus Lines, based in the small town of East Gresford. The company said, "Our hearts are with everyone involved in this terrible tragedy, and we send our deepest condolences to those who've lost loved ones."
The mental scars of this will not go away.
As shocked locals took time to reflect, the country is asking the question, how could this have happened? Kylie Morris, ABC News.
And Kylie Morris is live for us at John Hunter Hospital in Newcastle. Kylie, how many wedding guests are still receiving treatment?
Juanita, we've just had an update actually from the Department of Health, who now say here at the John Hunter, one patient remains in a critical but stable condition. There are 8 others here as well who are all regarded as being in a stable condition, which is good news for their families and friends. 2 patients are in a stable condition also, we understand, at Maitland Hospital, again closer to the crash site, 1 at the Calvary Mater here in Newcastle and 2 in the Royal Prince Alfred in Sydney. So as we know from what happened last night, there was an effort by emergency services to get people via road ambulance, via helicopter, exactly the kind of treatment that they needed as quickly as possible. That has been achieved. Now it's up to the surgeons, the nurses, the medical staff here to try to aid the recovery of those who have survived this crash.
Kylie Morris there with the latest from John Hunter Hospital. Let's bring in Harriet Tatham now. She's at Cessnock Police Station. Harriet, what do we know about the bus driver?
Juanita, he's a 58-year-old man from Maitland. Late today, he was charged with 10 counts of dangerous driving occasioning death, along with negligent driving occasioning death. He was taken from the scene to hospital under police guard for mandatory drug and alcohol testing. New South Wales Police Commissioner Karen Webb says she wasn't aware of any positive alcohol readings, but drug tests can take weeks to come back. The man remains behind bars and will appear at Cessnock Local Court tomorrow.
Harriet Tatham reporting there.